Now, there's been a dramatic increase in the number of times police are firing tasers, according to figures obtained by this programme. The Home Office no longer publishes the data, but Freedom of Information requests made by Channel 4 News have shown that forces fired tasers more than 1,500 times in the last financial year, compared to just under 900 the year before. Our North of England correspondent Morland Sanders has tonight's special report on fears that officers are becoming trigger-happy in their use of the new weapon.
The most powerful weapon in the hands of a non-firearms officer in the UK. And this footage from America shows exactly what it's capable of. Howard Soare is one of the increasing number of people in Britain who felt the effects of a taser.
It was just a normal day and I was going to the gym like another day, to just do a workout. I suffer with epilepsy, and while I was training in the gym, I've had an epileptic seizure. It was during me having that seizure is when the police have come with the paramedics, and I've been tasered.
An independent police complaints commission investigation stated that during his fit, Mr. Soare became aggressive towards paramedics, a point he strongly rejects. Officers from Greater Manchester Police arrived, and one of them fired his taser.
It's disgusting. That's how I feel, disgusted. Because it was a tactical aid unit that come there, like they've come for an armed robbery or something. I'm just a bloke in a gym, having an epileptic seizure.
The IPCC cleared officers of any misconduct. But Howard Soare's solicitor has a number of other clients claiming they've been tasered unfairly by the police.
It is very much the officer thinking that this is something new that they can use, and without any kind of risk or consequences calculations by the officer, just deploying it because he thinks he can, and that's the only thing that he can do.
This is the X26 Taser. It's a US invention that's a pretty common sight on police officers' belts up and down the UK. It works initially with a laser pointer gaining accuracy onto the target. Pull the trigger and then 2 barbs would fly out, delivering 50,000 volts. Their use is not without controversy. However, Channel 4 News has uncovered evidence that the firing of X26 tasers has risen dramatically in many of our forces. Take Greater Manchester Police, the force that tasered Howard Soare. Channel 4 News discovered their X26 firing increased by 171% in the last financial year, from 56 to 152. But other smaller forces recorded even higher percentage jumps. South Yorkshire 450%, and in Suffolk they posted an 800% rise. Overall, of the 40 forces of the 43 in England and Wales replying to our requests, they report an average increase of 136%. Amnesty International says it wasn't expecting these numbers.
Amnesty's reaction to these findings are particularly alarming. There appears to be a clear disparity between the number of firings across the forces, across the country, in terms of when the taser is fired. That indicates to us that there isn't clarity in terms of the guidelines in terms of when this taser should be used. So we'd certainly be calling on the Home Office to thoroughly review those policing guidelines and set in place some strict standards as to when this weapon ought to be used.
The police say they constantly review guidelines on taser use, and these new figures will be fed into that process. They claim the overall numbers are still low. However, it's irrefutable. More officers are now pulling the trigger. The question is why. Some would say, looking at these figures, it is further supporting evidence that the taser is used as a method of compliance by the police officer.
Right. Well, there may be individual cases where that might be the case.
But in this country, should police officers be using an electric type stun gun to force compliance or to gain compliance?
This is not just about gaining compliance. This is perhaps about arresting somebody or bringing them under control whilst causing them minimal injury. Before Taser was introduced, it may well be that person would have been battened across the legs or to different parts of their body, which could have caused more lasting injuries than necessarily the Taser will.
ACPO admitted to Channel 4 News the Taser isn't completely safe. Yet recently the Commissioner at the Met said he wanted to see more officers with access to the device. And with our findings today, it could be deduced that may create one result: more people subjected to police electric shock tactics. Morland Sanders, Channel 4 News.
And for a comprehensive look at taser use by police forces across England and Wales, you can see how the figures have changed in your area by visiting our website, www.channel4.com/news.